session, and I am writer D. Now, what is this series about? This series is basically I'm going to attempt, and I mean attempt, to be the literary version of Bob Ross. We are going together to take a 1-hour guided short story writing session. The whole point of this is not for you to be amazed at how brilliant I am and what an amazing writer. Oh, if only you had the genius I have. No. This entire series is all about you and me writing together and in the trenches as we figure out our short story. I do not intend for you to actually watch what's happening on screen. You can if you want to, and I have a nice little avatar in case you do. But the real point is that I want you, yes you, the one watching this video right now, the one listening to this voice right now, I want you to actually write along with me, and we are going to write a short story together. I don't intend for you to copy my short story, for you to do what I'm doing. I kind of hope that you will do your own, or maybe you straight up follow in my footsteps just for the practice. I don't know. But what I do know is that time's a wasting. Let's begin. So, full disclosure, these first couple of episodes are going to be different from every other episode because I accidentally started the short story. I started the short story as part of my creative writing class before I actually worked up the nerve to do it. So I actually have rough draft and classmate comments from the story I'm going to be using as an example, as the first example. Luckily, from here on, it'll all be you and me working together in real time. So let's work through my process. And now, class, get out your writing utensils, aka either your Word documents or your paper and pencil, whichever you prefer. And we are going to start with the way I started. First things first, this is going to be a dramatic reenactment of my process. I promise that later series will be in real time and we'll be working on this together. So let's begin. So I started with story seeds. Let's get some ideas flowing. What about a man discovers all his co-workers? You know what? We're not going to care about spelling. This is outline. That's right. We're going to have our first idea be a man who discovers his coworkers are insects in mech suits. And I gave it a working title of Office Bugs. Second idea. A disgruntled, I know that's horribly misspelled, but it's the rough draft, we don't care, employee who passed up for promotion. God. Passed up, again, I need to be better with this myself. And he is jealous of the new coworker and decides he needs to kill him. Like, workshop of this one was banal evil. And I'm going to write a note for this story because I do intend to finish this one later. I'm going to write villain protagonist. Our protagonist will be the bad guy. Why do I keep typing 4? Now, young man moves to a small town. Small town covers a cult based around a meteorite crash. Yeah. Meteor fragments give enhanced strength and there we go. And the working title of this one was Court of Roses. And I hope that you've been following along, and I hope that you have also gotten at least 3 story seeds. Now, you don't have to keep any of the story seeds. You can keep going. Maybe none of them really jump out at you. But for me, when I was doing my process, the Court of Roses jumped out at me. And I decided, hey, let's work on that. So I asked myself questions. What if the meteor fragments affected only a certain group? Question mark. What if only affects girls? Question mark. What if town has a dark secret? Boom. Ooh, and what if main character has someone close? Coins. Possible betrayal? I know that's horribly misspelled, but we're gonna keep going. So, that's one of the things that you should be doing with your story seeds. Not just writing them, but really asking questions. Like, what is going on in your story? Why is it happening? And then going from there. And that's how I kind of started forming the Court of Roses. What if it does only affect girls? And what if the girls don't want anyone to know? And what if there are female characters in the main character's life who join the cult or are a part of it? Questions. And just around that whole idea of betrayal and this idyllic small town having a dark secret, I decided this is where I'm gonna go. That whole concept of betrayal. And then I started thinking, well, what if the betrayal comes from his sister or a possible love interest? There we go. Now, see, right now I haven't committed to anything. I haven't really written anything, quote unquote, because this is just me putting down the main ideas. Now I'm going to talk about the 6 narrative questions. So basically, these questions, I came across them from, I think it was Courage in Writing as the YouTube channel. I think it was Courage in Writing, where they basically went through the 6 questions. Who is the story about? What do they want? Why can't they get it? What do they do about it? Why doesn't it work? And how does it end? I don't think it's in that order, but that's basically the questions I came up. Now, let me switch over the actual outline that I was working on when I was doing this. Boom. This is the general plot of Banal Evil. As you can see, I really did flesh out the story seed, and I'm coming back for this story seed. Don't worry, I'm coming back for this. But this is basically the general plot I started making up for the Court of Roses as I kind of went through the whole process. Of course, you got your introduction. I decided Trent because Trent kind of means like a little bit to trespass, a little bit to be in some place. So I thought that Trent would be good for a character who is knowing secrets that they shouldn't know. And Rebecca is a strong female name, and a strong quote-unquote female character. So I thought that would be an appropriate name. They moved to Umbral Shores, Nebraska. Because Umbral Shores, which actually gets changed to Umbral Falls, sounds pretty ominous. So I thought, hey, let's make it sound a little ominous. And as you can see, I just wrote very broad brush strokes. We see their personality, we meet Lily on the college campus, and witness the changes that Rebecca starts going through. As you can see, very just skeleton work. Like I haven't really started putting the meat on this. I, then move on to my rising action. He sees his sister's abnormal progress and increases her abilities and is alarmed. This isn't normal. The parents dismiss it as Rebecca blossoming in her new environment. But Trent, spying on his sister as she works out, sees her increases in strength and knows that you can't build muscular strength like that by feeling more confident. And reading this back, it's kind of funny because I kind of end up minimizing this whole aspect unintentionally, and maybe I should go back and kind of sketch this out, which I do plan to. And this whole segment here of the basketball game, I never actually wrote this. It's kind of funny. So yeah, this is an idea I came up with, but I never implemented. This right here will get kind of changed around as I go through my story and I go through the process of it. So, and of course, as you can see from the climax, resolution, falling action, and resolution, I was very much like, I got a strong opening, but don't really know where I'm going for the climax. And I don't really know how I'm going to resolve anything. But that's okay, because this is very skeleton work, and we're going to move on to the rough draft, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, I hope you're following along, and I hope that you too are starting to, get things going here. This is just a general plot that I'm going. So remember the 6 narrative questions. Back to the original word drop. Who is the story about? What do they want? Now, let's see. Why can't they get it? What do they do about it? Why doesn't it work? How does it? Now I'm going to break down these 6 questions from Courage in Writing, just to really go over why I personally find these questions so good. 1, who is the story about? You need a character. You need a protagonist. You need a viewpoint character. And it doesn't matter whether this is one character or multiple, because you can do these 6 questions with pretty much any character that's in the story. In fact, it's actually preferable that you do it with each individual character in the story. That way, you know what each individual character is trying to accomplish and who they are. So, who is the story about? 2, what do they want? Characters need motivation. They need to want something, because otherwise they're just going to stay home and they're just going to be all like, I won't do anything today. And why struggle? Especially when you start getting into the conflict and the plot. Things are going to get challenging. They're going to get difficult. They could get dangerous. And the characters' lives and health and family could be threatened by the villain / antagonist / whatever. And they need a motivation to push them through it. Because if they don't, then it's like, well, why are they here? Why don't they just go away and just say, you know what, I'm out of here? They need to do something. They need to want something to actually participate in the plot. And this applies not just for your protagonists. This also applies to your supporting cast and your villain, your antagonists. Because your supporting cast needs to want something too. Because otherwise, they'll see the hero running into danger and kind of unintentionally roping in them in there. And they'll be like, well, why am I here? No. I'm out of here. They need a reason to stick by the hero's side. And then the villain as well. Why does the villain want to do things? Why don't they just stay home? Just like, you know what? Power and immortality wasn't that great anyway. Who cares? No. This is important. What do they want? Do this for everybody. That is going to be important to the story. If you're just doing it for some random character that isn't really going to be relevant, then don't waste your time. Save yourself the trouble. You don't need to outline every story beat possible unless you're either George R.R. Martin or J.R.R. Tolkien, in which case go ham. But for the rest of us, mere mortals, let's not do that. 3. Why can't they get it? This is also really important because your protagonists needs to face obstacles. They need to have challenges. They want to do something, but something's in their way. The villain is in their way. The antagonist is in their way. The challenge is in their way. They're not where they need to be. They don't have what they need. They need to have something. And then you also need to do it with the villain too, because otherwise, why hasn't the villain won already? Why hasn't the villain already taken over the world? They are also missing something as well that's important. They need to get it. Then, what do they do about it? Our characters need to see that there's a problem. They need to, do something about it. It sounds dirt simple. And it sounds simple to the point of stupidity. But it is from this stupid simplicity that we will weld pieces together to make a more complex whole. Do not be afraid of this simplicity at this early stage. Because, why? Reason is that the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s are stupidly simple, childishly simple. Even children can understand how to count and understand the alphabet. However, if you don't have that foundation, you don't have that backing, then algebra and the work of Tolstoy becomes impossible. You will never write War and Peace if you don't know your alphabet. You will never do a quadratic equations if you don't have 1, 2, and 3. So what do they do about it? It's stupidly simple, but it's a stupidly simple thing that you as the author need to know. 5. Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it work? You can't have your protagonist just do something and then they win, because then the story's over. And not only that, but there's no challenge, there's no plot twist, there's no drama. They just, there's a bad guy, takes out a gun, shoots him, bad guy's gone. Oh, no, we can't have that. They need to have something that they have to overcome. They need to try something and have it fail. When Frodo gets the One Ring, what's the first thing he tries to do? He tries to get rid of it himself. He tries to pass it off to Gandalf. He tries to give it to Galadriel. He does so much to get rid of it. Why can't he? Because the ring is addictive. The ring is too dangerous to be left out in the wild, just loafing around. He needs to be the ring bearer. That's why he doesn't just abandon the ring. And then we spend the rest of the novel with Frodo Baggins baking apple pies while everyone else does things. No. 6. How does it end? Now this is interesting. You do not need to know specifically how your story ends. Like, I certainly didn't for Court of Roses. And to be perfectly honest, I still don't. That's why when we do the second draft revision, we are going to flesh number 6 out together in real time. Because honestly, I don't actually know how it ends. I don't really know. I left it for my classmates on a very intentional, ambiguous cliffhanger and ambiguous ending, but that's not the true direction the story was ever meant to go. Okay, now good news, bad news. As part of my planning, I lost. I can't find it. Good news. That means that in our guided short story session here today, we can actually go over this together in real time. And again, I hope you have your Word document open or your pages open so that we can do it together. There's another very interesting technique that I watched and learned about on YouTube. It's called 4-corner oppositional writing. Now, the whole point is that we're going to try to get the characters to basically exist in like a square in terms of relationship. Every character will have some type of relationship or conflict with every other character, and that's the key: conflict. We want the characters to bounce off each other in interesting ways. So let's start with Trent. Who are his primary interactions going to be? They're going to be with his sister, Rebecca. They're going to be with Lily. And they're going to be with the titular court. Actually, let's get rid of Winters. We don't need this last. So, he's himself. He can't really have an interaction with himself, but we can write about what we talked about earlier. Number 1 and 2. Who is the story about and what do they want? Trent, I hope you are following along, and I hope that you can also start writing the 4 corners with me in real time. Trent. He is a young man. Moves to a small town. Is concerned safety of his sister. It's spelled, but we don't care. Not here, because this is an outline. Yeah. We're breaking the rules. We're naughty children. His conflict with his sister is that she is keeping secrets from him, not feeling the existence of the court and the effects of the fragments. So that is going to be his conflict with his sister. She is keeping secrets from him, not revealing the existence of the court and the effects of the meteorite. And later on, I decided that what if she runs away? And his conflict changes, wanting to find and protect her. So, boom. We have not one, but 2 conflicts with his sister. And note that she is not a villain, not here, not a bad guy, but she will have conflicts with him. She will have conflicts with him, even though she's not a villain. And this is good. Let me stress this and make it very clear, because this is an important point. Your characters, your protagonist specifically, does not need to have conflict exclusively with the villain / antagonist. They can have conflicts with other people. And in fact, it's better if they do, because then you can not only round out their character more, but you can also add more drama. If you're stuck writing a scene with your bad guy and you're just like, I don't know what to do, go back and flesh out a different conflict with another character. Not only will that give you ideas and inspiration, but it will also point to you the direction of the conflict with your protagonist. Case in point, let's move to the primary antagonist, but not the real villain of the story, Lily. He is also keeping secrets. Oh my god. From him. Also not revealing that she is a member of the court. Also hides truth of the meteor from Trent. But wait, let's give her a second conflict. She and Trent will become love interests. But let's have fun. She ray him. He is ultimately oh yes. There's no I'm in love with you and I'm going to be a good guy now. No. She does to some extent love Trent. But her loyalty to the court is strong. In fact, I'll write that down. But her loyalty is court. Ha ha ha. So, this is basically kind of what I'm doing. Right here, you already see I'm starting to make Lily multi-layered. Where she's not purely evil. She's not screwing Trent just to screw him. And is not falling in love with him just to mess with his head. She really does love him. Her conflict. Him. Is her love and her she loves him, but he just isn't right for the situation, I guess is the best way I'm going to put it. Now, the Court of Roses are our actual villains. They want Trent dead in all capital case letters for dramatic effect. Because he is piecing together truth, meteor, fragments, distance, and ability needs to be tied up. So, as soon as he starts getting through the story, they're gonna want him dead for getting close to the truth. But you know what? Let's add a second conflict. Let's spice it up. Also, want Becca dead. Because she wants to protect Trent and refused to join court. Boom. Now, not only do they want Trent dead, but they also want his sister dead because his sister wants to protect him and refuses to join them fully. So now we have a second conflict from the court. He is a loose end and a liability that needs to be tied up. But on top of that, they also want his sister dead because she is wanting to protect him and refuses to join the cult. Now, this is where you could end things, but it's not where I ended things, so I will keep going. I also did this four-corner opposition for the other members of our little group here. So let's go Rebecca. What is her conflict with Trent? Is noticing the effects of the meteor on her and is becoming suspicious. Additionally, he is asking questions that don't need to be answered. And sticking his nose where it doesn't belong. He runs away, distract the court away from. Boom. And let me get Lily here just to, and the court to kind of start piecing things together. So now, this is important, and this is something you're going to want to keep note of. Rebecca is not, I repeat, Rebecca is not going to be a POV character. She's not. But I'm doing this so that when I'm writing scenes with Rebecca, and I'm writing the conflict between her and Trent and Lily and the court, I need to know what Rebecca's going to do and how she's going to do it so that I can basically plan everything. So, her conflict with Trent is that he is noticing the effects of the meteor on her and is becoming suspicious. He is sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, asking questions that don't need to be answered. Now that we have Rebecca's conflict with Trent, let's move to Rebecca's conflict with Lily. What is her conflict with Lily? She thinks Lily is no good for her brother. Disapproves she disapproves of the romantic and sexual relationship. So that's her first problem with Lily. She thinks Lily is no good for her brother. She looks at Lily and is like, oh God, he's in love with this B word, this bitch. And just not where she wants him to be. But wait, let's add another conflict. Lily is also actively searching. I can't believe whatever. Is actually searching for Rebecca. Hunt her down to prove her worth. So, not only is Lily no good for her brother, not good enough to be with her brother, but they are enemies, actively trying to destroy each other. Boom. And now, what is her conflict with the court? This is easy. They are trying to kill her and kill her brother potentially. Wants to take them down. So, they're trying to kill her and potentially her brother. They gotta go. They gotta go. But now, let's move on to another very important character, the actual principal antagonist. Let's go, Lily. Trent. Go. Rebecca. And let's do something really wild. The court. Why? Because we want drama. We want to make Lily an interesting character. She's going to be the antagonist. She's going to be the enemy. And she's all involved with everything that's going on. But that means that the reader has to care about her. If she's just a cardboard villain that comes on screen and just is like, I am the bad guy, no one will like her. So she has to be interesting in her own right. What is her conflict with Trent? She loves him, but he is asking too many questions and noticing too much. That's the first thing. She does love him, but he's getting too close to unraveling the mystery of what's happening in the town. He's becoming too aware of the meteorite fragments, and she realizes that he could become a problem that the court wants to solve. So she wants to take him off the track. She wants him to go away, be with her. But wait, let's add a second conflict. Knows he will protect his sister. Knows suspicious of her. Now we got a little bit of a chess game going on, where it's not just that she loves him, but that she's also aware of his suspicion of her and his desire to protect his sister. So she doesn't just personally like Trent. She also knows that he might cover for his sister and that he doesn't fully trust her. Problem if you're trying to, manipulate someone into doing what you want. So now Lily can't just tell Trent whatever and then Trent believes it, because he will be suspicious. This will force Lily more strategic in her choice of actions, which is good for us, the writers. Now, what is Lily's conflict with Rebecca? Hates that Rebecca thinks isn't good enough for her brother. Basically, Lily knows that Rebecca thinks she isn't good enough for her brother, and she resents her for it. She's like, how dare you? I am good enough for your brother, and he loves me. Go screw yourself. This is good because, you want drama. You want the reader to be interested in what is happening. So, she hates Rebecca for thinking she isn't good enough for her brother. And Rebecca has refused the court. Court blames Lily for creating a liability. Want Lily tie up the loose end that is Becca. Show of loyalty. So basically, Rebecca is going to refuse to join the court. And the court is going to see the failed initiation as basically a threat. Rebecca now knows about the court's existence. Rebecca knows about the meteorite fragments and what the meteorite fragments do to women. And, well, they can't have that. Rebecca knows too much, and Lily is the one to blame for trying to recruit Rebecca and failing to do so. So now they want Lily to get rid of Rebecca by any means necessary. So Rebecca doesn't want to die. Rebecca's on the run. So Lily is basically trying to find her. So now we got two conflicts between Rebecca and Lily. Excellent. Let's really have some fun and make Lily a layered and complex kind of character by basically giving her another conflict, but this one with the court that she works for. They blame her for failing to recruit Rebecca and failing to tie up ends. Want Lily kill. They want Lily to kill Rebecca to prove that she is. Oh my God. That she is useful. So basically, Lily now has a conflict with the court. They accuse her of being a screw-up and of basically introducing a liability, a poison into their midst. And Lily needs to fix the problem she has caused, or else, let's do that, or else she will die. Let's capitalize that. Die. And a bunch of exclamation marks. So her life is on the line. She needs to fix this. But wait. Let's have another conflict. They also, Lily, betray Trent, lead him to his doom, and let's have that all capital case. She doesn't want to do that because she actually loves Trent, but she's also afraid of the court and wants to fit in and be a part of the group, to enjoy everything that comes with being a member of the court. So many conflicts with each other. Now, I'm not going to do one for the court because I think we kind of essentially have fleshed out the court by proxy. But for the first episode, I feel like this is a good place to wrap things up. We have our outline. We have a clear direction of who our characters are and what they want, misspelled as it is. And I hope that you joined me. And I hope that you, yes, you, the one listening to this, wrote their own outline and their own four-corner oppositional framework for all of them, for all the important characters anyway. I am looking forward to seeing you as I walk you through my thought process of creating the rough draft and the format of the rough draft. And then the third episode, we're going to work together in real time for the very first time. I hope to see you then. This is Writer D. Class is adjourned.